Hi, fabulous fempreneurs. I'm Rihanna Starr, your hostess with the mostest in empowering women entrepreneurs to succeed in business. And I'm doing these fempreneur interviews with all the lovely ladies who are members in this group. If you're interested, let me know. Just comment below me, please. Liz took me up on this invitation when she watched someone else being interviewed in the group, and she just thought, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that. And she scheduled one of these calls with me. Liz Way is up in New York. She grew up in the Bronx. Now she's in Poughkeepsie. She didn't even know what that place was. She had never heard of it before. She's got quite a story of horror to hope. And she's on a mission to empower women who have been in abusive situations to develop financial literacy. She's got an incredible company that she signed up with that really brought her from rags to riches. And she's going to tell a little bit of her story about how she grew up in an abusive family, and then she struggled with some life-threatening illnesses, how she, found, her way back, and how she has a strong desire to help women who are struggling in abusive situations. She is a God-fearing woman with a lot of faith. She's got a wonderful partner now in her life, her husband. So Liz, I want you to tell us in a real quick version, just give us a little viewpoint from growing up until you got to your point today, because I want to spend most of the time on the hope piece. Give us a quick little abstract version of what got you where you are today.
I thank you for the opportunity today, Rihanna, for being here. It's a pleasure. You're a beautiful person. Well, I came from I came out from an abusive home, and I became an emancipated teenager at 17. So I worked myself up. Yeah, worked and went to school. Just kept working, doing my thing, and then in the mid-20s, I met a guy that I thought he was gorgeous. Ended up being an abusive man. Abusive. I had a kid from him. Almost, I almost lost my baby 4 times, and because of him being abusive. So he started stalking me real bad, to the point that I had to relocate to Poughkeepsie, which I never heard of, as Rihanna said.
It's a weird name, Poughkeepsie.
It is, and it's
and
like
that's
the
where you
northern side
got to
of West
start
Virginia.
over.
Yeah, then I started my life over. Went to for medical assistant school. Worked hard, still being a single mom, taking care of my baby at the time. He was 2 years old, so I worked myself up. Then a tragedy happened. I met my husband. I'm going back a little bit. I met this wonderful man, my husband, that he's been very supportive with me. I've been blessed with him.
Your current husband, after
yeah,
the
my current
husband.
Yes. After
And you
the
guys had a
abuse,
real soulful connection, huh?
yes, a soulful
Yeah.
connect. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything. I wasn't physically attracted to him, to be honest with you. But it was something more with him, a lot of oppositions, but we've been there. We've been together through thick and thin. We've been there for each other. It hasn't been easy. My life wasn't easy. So working as a medical assistant, I got injured, and it turned my life around, upside down, really, because I now considered disabled because of this real bad injury.
Yeah, and at
But
one
I
point,
felt,
it was, just let me jump in there, Liz. At one point, this injury, because Liz and I were talking for a while before the interview, this injury was life-threatening. And I mean, a matter of hours and days that she had gotten an injury, and then it got infected. And had she not gotten into the hospital soon enough, it would have killed her. But somewhere in your journey, you got introduced, like you've always been a struggling single mom until you met your current husband. And somewhere in your journey, after you realized you couldn't be a medical assistant educator anymore, you got put on a new path. Now, Liz is a very religious woman. She found God. God has gotten through her through a lot of ups and downs. Tell us about this opportunity that started to turn your life around.
Oh yes, this opportunity, because I have a
Say
passion of
it
helping people.
slowly. Say it slowly so we can
Yeah.
understand you.
Okay. Because I'm passionate about helping people, because I know that the struggle is real. It's been real. But I changed my everything that I've been through. I don't regret it. I actually thank, because it led me to this purpose, and I believe I found my purpose in life. And I heard about this amazing companies, United Credit Education Services. This amazing company is a financial literacy company with emphasis on helping people restore their credit, get their buying power back, and their financial freedom.
So hold on. It's Financial Credit Education Services.
United, United Credit
United
Education, United,
Financial,
no, United Credit Education Services.
United Credit Education Services.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. So, I found my passion. I love helping people, and because like I was sharing with Brianna before the interview, my prayers is to open a like a refuge home for single moms. And as you can see now, in this since couple of years, it's been going on. Babies having babies, they never had that, maybe that mother example of how to raise a child. So they end up raising their child by themselves. So my goal to this amazing company is to open a building, and find a house of refuge for these mothers, so I could teach them, and share my story with them and let them know that, it's never too late. So, this company has been changing a lot of lives. It changed my life. I'm
What
also
are
a
some of
partaker
this?
of this amazing
Let me jump
services.
in there, Liz. What are some of the
I'm sorry.
services that you offer through United Credit Education Services?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question, Rihanna. We have a number one protection plan with 12 amazing services, and I'm gonna name a few. We have the budgeting, we have the credit builder, we have the credit attorney, we have identity
All right, hold
monitoring.
on, hold on. So ladies, those of you, because I know there's plenty of you in this group that are struggling financially, you're trying to get a business off the ground, but you don't even have hardly any money to do that. And you do need money to be in business. You do need money in a business. And so Liz's service might be a great place for you to start, starting with creating a budget and then learning how to develop credit. Those two things are fundamental skills that you absolutely need in business. All right, Liz, keep going. There's some great
Yeah.
other services too.
Yes, we have the debt payoff, where you could actually pay your debt before, time. It actually helps you calculate how much money you should save um in order for you to pay that debt, and how long it would take you to pay that debt. We also have the financial lockbox, which actually you could put your life insurance, the title to your house, passport. You could save it in a financial lockbox, and actually you could create a password. God forbid something happens to you and your loved ones don't know. You could give it to that password to someone that you trust, and in case of an emergency, they could always have access to that as well. We have the
All
will and
right, hold
trust.
on, Liz, hold on. So there's two more services. Like some of you may have that security stuff handled where you've got life insurance policies, other kind of insurance, you've got your will and testament or investment documents that you want to put in a safe place. But how many of us are in debt that would love to clear that debt? I have done that like 2 or 3 times in my life where I was just committed to becoming debt free. And it is such a liberating thing. And then you get to a point, which I did, where you are just having debt in order to build a credit score. You're not taking on debt for the sake of having debt because you're living beyond your means. You're actually being strategic about the debt you take on to increase your credit score. So these are just a handful of services. What else, Liz?
Well, it has, what I love about this company is that it teaches you like self-discipline, Um, there's 112 Americans don't have a credit score. They either have a poor credit score, very poor, or 580 or less. And that's 112 million Americans. You can imagine how high that number has increased in this time alone.
In
And
the
43
pandemic,
million
yeah.
people, yeah, and 43 million people don't even have, they are credit, they are what they call credit invisible. They have no credit. They have no credit built. And what this company helps you as you restoring your credit, or even if you don't have no credit, and you want to build and discipline yourself. That's what this company teaches you, the financial literacy. And that's what I love, because as a
Yeah.
coming from a medical background, as a medical instructor, I get to help this people, because financial literacy wasn't taught to any of us when we were in school, and that was the case, we would have been, our life would have been better off. But unfortunately, we learning this now as we older, and a lot of us have gotten into a hole because of that reason, because we don't know how to budget our money, we don't know how to pay our debts off, we don't know how to
We don't have a
save money for,
savings plan.
it's not a
We're
saving
living
goals,
beyond our
exactly.
means. Yeah.
Yes,
We're not
living beyond,
saving for the future. And a
exactly,
lot of
living.
times it's not because of ignorance, it's
No,
because the cost of living. Like
exactly.
I lived in California and San Diego for
Hmm.
my life. I moved other places. Then I was in Baja for 4 years and I saw what poverty was like. And when I decided to move back to the United States, I knew I wanted to live somewhere else. I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains, in Appalachian Mountains in Western North Carolina, in a beautiful place that really suits me now. And the cost of living is so much more reasonable. I mean, my mortgage for a 3,100 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with a rental income attached to it on half an acre with a stream in my backyard and woods in my backyard cost me a quarter of what I could get for something in San Diego. So it's a matter of knowing, living within your means, but also being willing to move like Liz did to find a better life for yourself. Go ahead, Liz.
Exactly. Yes. And that's when the budgeting comes in. And you said
Yeah.
something very important. You brought up a point, because I found that I have found, since I've been in this amazing company, it's that 10% of Americans don't have a emergency fund. They don't know, because they don't have money to save, money for an emergency, because God forbid something happens. You never know what could happen. I mean, last year, for example, is a perfect example when the coronavirus had just hit. How many people that thought they were not going to die, and so many people died just from this virus.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people didn't have money to even, they had to go fund me just because they didn't have the funds to bury their loved ones properly. So financial literacy is important more than ever. Credit is important. Credit speaks for you. Credit represents you and me. If somebody looks at our credit report and sees that you owe so many debts and all this stuff, they're not gonna trust you. You're not trustworthy. And that's what I love about this company that teaches people is financial literacy and how to keep themselves out of that hole and not get
Okay.
back to that hole
So
again.
let me ask you, Liz, who is your soulmate client? Who's the one you really want to help? If your business was filled with your dream client, who would that be?
I would like to my soulmate is the Spanish community, because
Okay.
a lot of the Spanish, and no, don't get me wrong, and
Latin
yeah,
culture of,
yes,
is it
that's,
mostly women?
yeah, and single moms, because everything that I've learned through this amazing company, and how I my life is more disciplined because of because I am also a partaker, because my identity was stolen in 2018. So I had, I came into this company. So I'm also a partaker. So whatever I share with a customer or a potential customer, I share my story because I know that it works. When my credit score was when my identity was stolen, my credit score went down to the mid 400s. And now my credit score is in the mid 600s, almost to the 700s. My credit score through United Credit Education Services has gone up 200 and something points. That's amazing. And by this year, before this year's over, I'm going to be debt free. So it works. When I tell you it
That's
works,
so
it
great.
does.
Now, what I want you to do, Liz, is once we post this, and we'll probably post it by tomorrow in the group,
Okay.
I want you to go in the group, and in the first comment, I want you to give your contact information. How can people find you? How can they connect with you? Like a link to your service or your, whatever. And ladies, those of you who are struggling financially, you're wanting to start your own business, to have financial freedom, but you're barely getting by right now. You're struggling. Maybe you need help with budgeting. Maybe you need help with developing credit. It certainly helps to have those things. You need those skills in a business. Maybe you just need to see that there is hope for the future, and you need to have a conversation with Liz just to plan for the future and see, wow, I could be out of debt in 2 years or 3 years, and then I could start saving. And wow, there is still hope for me to have retirement or whatever. Maybe you have, family members and children that you want to make sure that there's something left for them and you need to write a will, whatever it is. These are all services that Liz can help you with. She has lived through some tough things in her life. She has landed with this United Credit Education Services after being in the medical profession and struggling as a single mother. And she's turned her life around. She's turned her finances around. She's finally not struggling in her life. And she has a passion for helping other women get out of just survival mode into feeling more secure. And then above that, then you can start to plug in and belong. And now you can start to thrive. So please connect with Liz Way. It's been such a pleasure interviewing you, Liz, and getting to know you. And I love seeing you in the group, and I appreciate how much you reach out and connect with me. So please, what I would recommend to you, because we don't pitch and promote in this group, is I want to encourage you to be a regular contributor of posting in the group educational posts about financial literacy, not all the facts and data, but start to position yourself as an expert in the group by posting things about budgeting, post things about reducing debt and building credit and saving. And some of these services that you offer, the way to attract people to us who know, like, and trust us is to give before you get. You'll see in my group that I post a lot of content, and I'm very generous with it. So Liz, I want to invite you to start to establish yourself as an expert in the group by doing that, by educating and giving. And then you'll develop a reputation of someone who knows what they're doing and someone who wants to help people. That's an alternative to pitching and promoting, is sharing your story, sharing your expertise, teaching, offering information, offering to help people, doing that from a servant heart. That's what this group is about. And you are a perfect example of that, Liz Way. It's been just such a pleasure connecting with you on today's call, and I really appreciate it. So stay on with me. I'll close the recording. Bye, everyone. Who's next? Who wants to be my next Fempreneur interview? I would love to get to know you and have the group get to know you by having a fempreneur interview with you. If you're interested, just comment me down below and I will send, well, you're going to also be interested in talking to Liz. So if you're interested in engaging with Liz, just reach out to her. If you're interested in having a fempreneur interview and having people get to know you in the group better, please just put in comments, me next, please. And then we'll know that you're reaching out to me versus Liz. Me next, please, if you want to be the next fempreneur interview. All right, ladies, be amazing. It was wonderful connecting with you.
Thank you. Thank you.